Alrighty, what's up guys, it's Wealthy Mongoose, and today I am bringing you 3 female MC flash romance novels, right? There's only one smut, I promise. There's only this one. Most of these are not really smutty. Okay, that's kind of debatable, but let's just go over it. So, Lucia, our very first one coming up. Lucia is all about, well, Lucia, who is a girl who's raised outside of the palace in the world that she's in. And she's raised outside of the palace until her mom dies, in which her mom then sends a letter to the palace. She goes into the palace, but she's one of like 19 or 20 plus princesses. So she's kind of like hidden away. However, she has a dream about how her future would roll out if she continued to do nothing while she was in the palace, right? And her dream was pretty traumatic, so Lucia decides that she wants to change this potential future. So she goes out and she does that. She meets this guy, a duke. I'm not going to say his name. Well, they get together. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on there. There's a lot of conditions in that relationship that neither party are really aware of. It's pretty interesting. Alrighty, next up is Transmigrator meets Reincarnator. I believe this series is finished. Yes, with 709 chapters. Now, this is a pretty good series for those who really like kind of clashing main leads and female leads, because during the beginning they don't get along at all, right? So there's a lot of issues in terms of the fact that Chu Lian is a transmigrator and her husband is a reincarnator. And her husband, in his original timeline, was betrayed by Chu Lian, so he has a lot of enmity towards her, which creates for a lot of spice at the beginning of the novel. However, as you go along, obviously, hearts wear down, pride decreases. It's a very good novel. I would highly recommend this one as well. Plus, it's completed, so you don't have to worry about, the translator not finishing it or anything like that. It's pretty guaranteed to be a very good one. All right, and the last one. All-time favorite so far. So we're talking about the rebirth of the Malicious Empress of military lineage. Now, you gotta understand, right? A lot of these go back in time novels, especially with female MCs. They usually go into a house, and they usually, fight in the inner court or deal with problems in the inner court or are being oppressed in the inner court. And that's because females back in the day in ancient China, they didn't really interact with many people outside of the house. So most of their attention was actually drawn inwards towards just house management and what's going on. So there's almost like a dynamic of politics within different officials' houses back in the old days, which I found pretty intriguing. So, I mean, that's something good to keep in mind. Shen Mao is obviously of military lineage. I think her brother is a high-ranking military officer, and her father is a general, and her mother is a fighter. So there's a lot going on there. However, Shen Mao was an empress once upon a time in the very distant future, and she goes back in time to before she married her husband, Prince Ding, and that's where our story starts. And she is a very cunning, very intelligent protagonist, and I really enjoyed reading it. Right, she's not really helpless. She does interact with things outside of the inner court, which, after you read a couple of these, that can be really refreshing. So I definitely recommend this for that. And also, I mean, there's a lot of undercurrents that you can't really see that I really enjoyed seeing the author plot out step by step. My only issue with this novel is the release times, because like this is not hate on the translator, but holy shit, it's so slow. Like this isn't too bad, but still, like every 5 days, like what? That's a month jump right there. Like it's rough, but there's probably like a good 250, 300 chapters in there by now. So this is worth reading. It's definitely a very good story. And yeah, that's everything I have for you guys today. All right, have a good one.